By now, most Christians in the evangelical realm have heard of Hillsong Church, founded by Brian Houston in Australia. They're known mostly for their quality-produced contemporary worship music, but the church has been under major scrutiny over the past few years, beginning with the firing of former Hillsong Church pastor Carl Lentz in New York City. Now, Carl Lentz has spoken out publicly for the first time since his firing from Hillsong Church back in late 2020 over serious immoral behavior and leadership problems. In a teaser released by FX Networks for the new docuseries they called The Secrets of Hillsong Church, Lentz admitted to having, quote, major lies in his life. The docuseries is set to premiere, I believe, sometime in mid-May, and it's raised questions about whether Lentz and his wife have received payment for their appearance, as though they are trying to make money off of this. Lentz has even joined up with another controversial church, Transformation Church, that's in Oklahoma with Pastor Michael Todd. And so this entire series has triggered mixed reactions from the Christian community, with some saying that there's been no indication of moral restoration or that they've changed in any way. Now, I don't know the current standing of the Lentz family, if they've truly repented, changed, or if they're still working through some things. But I wonder, how should Christians respond to news about the serious moral failings of pastors, especially to those who desire celebrity status like Carl Lentz did? And so I'm going to take a moment and answer this question on today's episode, so stick around with me. Before we dive into how we should respond to moral failings of pastors, which is really a big topic, I want you to know that this is not a defense for Carl Lentz, Hillsong Church, or anything that took place. I don't know him, I don't know his family, but Lentz represents just one of many stories that devastate the hearts of people. So I want to take a moment and help you think through this, because their influence works both ways, unfortunately. And I understand that some might even criticize this video and claim from the outset that Carl was never really a pastor in the first place, and that Hillsong is just a complete sham. Again, we can talk about this perhaps on another video about the qualifications of a pastor or a scriptural church, but what I want to do today is just assume that Carl Lentz represents a church pastor or leader with good intentions, even if they turned out bad in the end. As a pastor myself, this question hits close to home. My wife and I know many pastors, and unfortunately, we've seen a number of failings. And to be honest, I've experienced my own in various degrees. But when there is specifically a moral failing that's been made public, Christians ought to know how they can respond. And Christians should first respond by simply acknowledging the humanity of pastors and the universality of sin. The Bible reminds us that all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. There's nothing in the title pastor, preacher, or minister that immunes a person from temptation and the lure of sin and the cares of this life. And it's very important to pray for the former pastor, their family, and the victims that were involved. Their family may even be part of the victims, people in their congregation, even those outside of their influence. The trauma that these victims endure lasts a lifetime. But no matter how grievous the sin, forgiveness can be sought and given. Hey, and by the way, as with all of us, pastors need accountability and appropriate boundaries in their lives. In fact, I would even argue to a greater standard, pastors and ministry leaders should abstain from all appearance of evil, as Paul tells the church of Thessalonica. See, the Bible calls pastors to be blameless, not to be greedy of gain or coveting after things. Christians should remember that when a pastor falls short, it does not diminish the truth and the power of the gospel or the love of Christ. The important thing is to stay true to the central message of faith and to extend love, compassion, and forgiveness to all, including pastors who have failed. It's not our ministry to hash out their motives. If you're watching this and you have more questions about Jesus and his claims, watch the video linked in the description below, What is Truth? And remember, faith is not a blind leap of ignorance into the unknown. Actual faith is trusting and believing the unknown because of the known. Keep the faith.